Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to declare and use methods in C Sharp. In other languages, methods are also called functions. So functions and methods are used interchangeably in programming, but in C Sharp we call them a method. So what is a method? A method is a group of statements that performs a particular task. So for example, you want to execute or you want to execute the sum of two numbers again and again. You can encapsulate the code for summing two numbers in a function and then call it into your main function. So every C sharp project, I think I have already told you that every C sharp project have at least one method, and that is called this main method. So main is also a method, and this is the main entry point of your C sharp program. Now, how to define a method in C sharp and what is the structure of a method? So let's see what is the structure of a method. A method has access specifier, and then it has return type. Then you write the name of the method, and then in the brackets you can pass some parameters, and inside these curly braces you write the method body or the code. So as we see this, and once again we go to our code and we see this main method, it has this is called static specifier. We can add access specifier called public specifier. So this is called access specifier, and this can be of different type like public, private, protected, but that we will talk later when we discuss classes and all. But just remember that when you use public specifier, you can use this method in other classes also. Okay, and this is called static specifier, and I will give you an example. And this is called the return type, and right now this main method is not returning anything. That's why it's void, but you can return integers, strings, or any class which you defined. Okay, and in this bracket comes the parameter. So let's declare a method and then use it. So first of all, I will give a access specifier which is public, and then I will give the return type. For now I will use void for this example, and I want to sum two numbers. Okay, so I will write sum. My method name is sum. Okay, and then I will give these two curly braces, and in here I will define my method. So what I will do is I will define two integers. One is number 1 is equal to 364, and number 2 which is equal to 234, for example. Okay, so we have two numbers which we have initialized, and what we want to do is we want to show the sum of these two numbers. Okay, so I will declare a third variable which is a int, and I will call it add, and I will say add is equal to number 1 plus number 2. Okay, and now I want to print this number by console write line. So I will write console.write line, and in the bracket addition, and in this placeholder I will pass this add addition of these two numbers. So this is how you can declare a method, right? And method has also argument, which I will talk in the next video, and return type, that also I will talk in the next video. But this is the simplest method you can imagine. Now how to use this method in the main method. What you need to do is, whenever you want to call a method in C sharp, you want to create an object or an instance of this class in which you are writing the method. Okay, so right now, as you can see here, we have a class called example1, and we are writing our code inside this class example1, which means that this method is a member function of this class. So whenever you want to use this method, what you need to do is you just need to copy this class, and you need to create an instance or object of this class. So just copy and paste it here, and then give it a variable name. For example, I will give it e1 object, okay, and is equal to a new object, because we are creating a new object of this class. Okay, so this code, what this does is it creates a instance of this example1 class. Okay, and because the sum is the member of this example1, we can use dot separator to call it. So just copy this object and just write dot and just call this sum method. You can see we are using IntelliSense. So IntelliSense shows that there is a method in our example class which is called sum. So it detects it, and we can just call this method. Now when we run the program, it will show us the sum of 364 and 235. So let's see. Yes, it's giving the addition of the two numbers. Okay, so in this way you can call methods in your main function. You can call this method more than once also. For example, 3 times. I'm calling it this method 3 times. Okay, method is useful whenever you need to call the same code again and again, which is more than once. And I will run this code, and it's showing me the same result 3 times without writing the whole code again and again. You are just calling this method. So this is the usage of method. You just write a code which you want to use repeatedly, and you can use it with this one line only. Okay, now I have shown you, I have already discussed, there is something called static specifier, and what this static specifier does is, let's use this static specifier. I will delete two other uh, line of code, but I will use this, and I will just copy the static specifier, and I will add before my void, which is return type, right? So I have now public, which is access specifier, static, which is a static specifier, this is a return type, and this is a function. And you may have noticed that as soon as I have used this static specifier here, this code is giving me an error, because whenever you use a static keyword before a function, then it becomes a static member, and you cannot call it with an instance of a class, but you can call it directly. How you can call it? I will just comment these two lines, and what I will do is I will just copy the class once again here, and you can call it directly. Example, which is example1, which is the name of a class, dot the method name, which is sum in our case, right? And just give this. So whenever you use this static keyword, you don't need to create an instance of this class. you can call it directly using this dot separator in your class, and whenever you run your program, it will run fine. So this is the difference between using static and not using static. Now, instance, when these instances are important, we will learn when we learn how to use classes, because this instance concept is very important concept in classes, right? So this is how you can use method in C sharp. This is a very basic declaration. In the next video, I will show you how to pass parameters in methods and how to return value in method. Okay. So stay tuned and please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.